You read the title. Yes, that's what we're going to talk about. The inherited will of Blackbeard. His father, Rox D. Zebek. Before chapter 1154 and 1155, just think about every single thing Blackbeard has said and has done. And then reading the end of 1154 and reading chapter 1155, it makes so much sense why Blackbeard does what he does. I also have a theory. Hopefully it makes sense on hopefully it makes sense that it's about Rox not really being dead, but he is at the same time. Just bear with me. But I just see Blackbeard just from the get-go, from the beginning, on everything that just like what Rox has done so far, it just makes so much sense. Okay, just think about it, right? Like, Rox wants to be the king of the world. Blackbeard also wants to be the king of the world. Rox took over Hachunosu. Blackbeard currently has Hachunosu. You know what I mean? Just everything that Blackbeard has done so far, and prior, Rox has done a lot of extreme things as well. And the way Rox plans ahead before he does things, and the way Blackbeard plans ahead before he does stuff, and it just like, it's mind-boggling. So what we're gonna do is basically do a analysis, right? We're gonna see everything that Blackbeard has done and lining up with Rox, and then we're gonna go with the theory that I made up, and let's see if it aligns with each other. Okay, so I just want you guys to please help me out. It boosts the algorithm so much. Please like the video. It will help out a lot, please. Okay, so let's get into it. Let's go back to chapter 225 of One Piece, when Luffy and Zoro just got beat up by Bellamy and their crew, and Blackbeard was basically on the fence talking to Luffy and Blackbeard and Zoro, I meant to say, how a man's dream never die. That phrasing sounds so much better now. And the reason why I say that is the fact that Rox's dream to be the king of the world still isn't dead, solely of the fact that Blackbeard still carries the will of his father, or I should say now carries the will of his father. And what's funny is when he walked away, Nami then said, I wonder what that guy was talking about. Luffy and Zoro was like, it's not just one of them, it's two of them. And Zoro was like, yeah, it's actually two of them. Well, I think. And it was just more so, that hits so much harder now. That alone makes so much sense. And this is the theory that I have for it, but that'll come at the end of the video. Just stick with me. Rox's dreams will never die, solely of the fact that his son Blackbeard is carrying his will. And the other thing is, what's funny about this is Blackbeard, in the beginning of his pirate career, he was a nobody. And that's really funny considering his dad. They work differently in various ways, I'd say. And the reason why I say that is, if you look at Rox's feats were known. They were just known. Destroying the gates of justice, looting a celestial dragon ship, meeting Emu, killing a celestial, killing a Navy admiral. Like, he was just known. He was doing things so he could be known, and everyone feared him. Versus Blackbeard, I would say Blackbeard was like, what, 39-ish? And he still hasn't made a name for himself? That was honestly weird. I found that weird in a way, but you could say that Blackbeard, even himself, right? When he was at the same island Luffy was on, learning about information about Sky Island. When he was going after Luffy, he wanted Luffy's bounty because Luffy just not killed, but he just defeated Crocodile, and he was worth 100 million. And then Blackbeard was like, whoa, I would like that guy. They were offering Bellamy, but he's like, that's a small fry. I'm trying to make a reputation for myself. So it just goes to seem like Blackbeard always planned ahead. And if you look at it, ever since Blackbeard was a kid, you know, he joined Whitebeard's crew. He never did anything. Literally, his only thing was just a claw. Even though he was on Whitebeard's crew as well, no one knew about him. No one knew a dang thing about him. When Luffy went to the meeting, the warlords, along with Sengoku and Suru, when Luffy went to recommend Blackbeard and everything, they're like, I haven't heard of him, considering he was on Whitebeard's crew. But honestly, he was under Ace. But even Blackbeard said it himself, like, he's been just planning all along. He's been looking for the right opportunity to finally make a name for himself, right? And here's one thing that I noticed. This is fate. This is fate. This is destiny. This is fate, right? Roger, Rox, rivals. They were rivals. Guess who fought each other? Blackbeard and Ace. Blackbeard and Ace fought each other. Blackbeard was the reason why Ace got captured and he was able to become a warlord. Blackbeard's whole goals and his plans, everything he's been planning all along, is honestly just like Rox, right? Think about it. Fate. Two sons of the former pirate king and the former, probably the strongest pirate that ever lived. They both were rivals, Roger and Rox. And now their sons are battling. Like, isn't that wild? The way Oda does it, like, that was so well written, right? Like, if you just go back, just see every single thing that Rox has done, and then go back to Blackbeard's journey to where he is right now, it's like, whoa, Oda, you planned this all along, right? So Ace obviously was searching for Blackbeard because Blackbeard killed Thatch, the fourth commander of the Whitebeard Pirates, right? Him killing the fourth commander of the Whitebeard Pirates was solely the fact that he'd been looking for this fruit all his life. He even says it. Blackbeard's whole goal, even when he told Ace, he was like, Ace, join me. Like, my plan to rise to the top is already here. We can take over the world together. Even though he didn't know that Roger was his son. Could you imagine if Blackbeard actually got Ace to join his crew? Could have been big, man. Second in command, because Blackbeard was already stronger than Ace. Like, he literally demolished Ace in this fight. I'm not even gonna lie. He really, like, did a number on Ace, right? And Blackbeard even said it himself. The only reason why he joined Whitebeard's crew, because he's like, yeah, this is the only way I will be able to find the Yami Yami no Mi, the dark fruit. Me joining Whitebeard's crew was for a reason. I've spent all my life, years, finding this fruit. And why is that? Maybe the Yami Yami no Mi could have been Rox's fruit all along. And now you might be asking, wait, if it's Rox's fruit all along, then why didn't the world government make a connection? The world government is stupid. They didn't even notice that Luffy himself owned the Gomu Gomu no Mi. They thought it was just a stretch fruit or whatever the case may be. But he literally yells out Gomu Gomu no. The world government is stupid. I'm not surprised that they didn't find out, you know, like, but it doesn't matter, right? And Blackbeard's rise to the top was just beginning. He defeated Ace, and when he defeated Ace, he became a warlord. And guess what? The only reason why he wanted to become a warlord is, guess what? Another thing. So he can gather a big crew. He's so similar to Rox. Like, this all makes sense. Think about it. Rox did like Davy backfights in order to gain a strong crew. Blackbeard purposely became a warlord just so he can go to Impel Down, level 6, and get level 6 warriors to join his crew. Vasco Shot, Katarina Devon, San Juan Wolf. Like, and he planned things just like that. He purposely kept himself on the low just so he is able to do all of these things. The thing is, though, you know what's really funny to me? Blackbeard was always Blackbeard, he's a part of the worst generation, right? And he's stronger than, he was stronger than everyone. He was the strongest out of the worst generation. He could have beat Kid. He could beat Luffy. He could have beaten Zoro. He could have beaten Law. All that good stuff. Like, literally. Because he had the Yami Yami no Mi. Luffy got that one shot Jettu pistol that one time at Impel Down. But then Blackbeard had to set him straight. Like, what? Black Vortex slammed him on his neck. Literally, right? But I wondered why. Because I'm not gonna lie, Blackbeard's crew looks trash. Like, when they went to go get at Boa Hancock, literally, like, they all just got beaten like that. She just did like the slave arrow, Vasco Shot, and Katarina Devon got turned into stone. It's like they're supposed to be commanders of it, you know what I mean? The only person, another thing too, Shiryu, but yeah, Shiryu. Blackbeard was able to get Shiryu. That's cool in of itself too. That was amazing. But I was wondering why hasn't Blackbeard decided to do the same thing his father did? Davy backfights. Maybe he decided like, Dad, I'll do it my own way. I know this is how you gained a strong crew, but why not? I'll do it my own way. What if Blackbeard actually wanted his crew to be loyal to him instead of like Rox having Davy backfights tradition? Because think about it like this. And the reason why I mentioned that Blackbeard was stronger than all of the worst generation, I feel as if at Rox's time, they had a worse generation too. Think about it. And the reason why I say that is, I say that because I'm right now looking at it. Rox had Shiki. He beat Shiki in a Davy back fight. Stussy, Don Marlin, he beat Newgate, he beat Whitebeard, he beat Wang Ji, he beat Gazui, he beat Captain John, he had Glorcia, he had Big Mom, he had Kaido and all that stuff. So I'm just wondering too, why didn't Blackbeard do Davy back fights as well? I feel like these guys that I mentioned that's on Rock's crew, they could have possibly been worst generation guys as well, or probably in a similar type of thing where they were making names for themselves as well. But it just makes me think, like, imagine if Blackbeard did this thing where it's like, imagine he already had Don Q, Vasco Shot, Van Auger, Burgess, and Lafitte, and then he decided, you know what, I want a strong crew. I've been hearing about this Captain Kid. I've been hearing about this Capone Beiji. I've been hearing about this Basil Hagen, Trafalgar Law, Scratchman Apu. I've been hearing about Yarouge. What if Blackbeard decided to do the same thing back in that? Imagine he decided to do Davy back fights with Yarouge, Scratchman Apu, Hawkins. Imagine Bonnie, Beiji. Imagine he tried to do the same thing. I mean, think about it. X Drake. Imagine he decided to get X Drake on his crew. Even though X Drake was a member of Sword this entire time, imagine he did the same thing. His crew would have been awesome. Apu with his type of his abilities, Hawkins and his abilities and everything, I think it would have been a great crew as well. That would have made much sense. I don't think Kid would have joined him, honestly, just for plot reasons, and Law, and then Zoro and Luffy along with Killer. I don't think for plot reasons that wouldn't have worked out, but I think it would have made sense if Blackbeard did Davy back fights as well with those other characters I mentioned. It would have made more, it would have make more sense, and his crew would have been way stronger. You know what I mean? But you know, that happened, but who cares, right? Blackbeard infiltrating Impel Down. He got all of the soldiers from Impel Down, the level 6 people. And him doing that, guess what else he did? He went to Marineford. The Summit War, yeah, that happened. He did that. And the thing is, when he went to go do that, it's like he had all these plans all along. All of these plans all along, it just aligns so perfectly. Blackbeard decided, okay, boom, let's go to the Summit War. Now that I got you guys and everything, let's go to the Summit War. This Whitebeard should already be down and out and injured and stuff. He should be heavily injured. Chaos and everything everywhere is already going on, etc. Blase, blase. All right, boom. I have a plan. Let's get Whitebeard's fruit. I will seriously be the strongest of all time. Father, I am carrying out your will. Boom, he goes to Marineford. After going to Marineford, guess what? He gets Whitebeard's devil fruit. He fought Whitebeard for a bit, and he gained his devil fruit. They all killed Whitebeard. All of his gang and everything killed Whitebeard. And now he has the Guru no Mi and the Yami Yami no Mi. Who knows how? Like I said, I got a theory for it at the end. Maybe it'll make sense to you guys. Okay. And now gets the next step. Marco and the rest of the Whitebeard pirates decided to fight Blackbeard in revenge of Whitebeard. To avenge Whitebeard, he decides to fight Blackbeard. And now him deciding to fight Blackbeard beats them all. He beats them all. He beats Jozu, Vista, Marco, and everyone else. Him beating him, government is now looking like, dang, who's gonna be the next Yonko of the Sea? It was gonna be Marco the Phoenix, but not it's Blackbeard now. Now Blackbeard's an Emperor of the Sea. It just, like I said, read 1154, and then you read 1155, and then you go back to every single thing Blackbeard has done. It all aligns. Now, guess what I'm gonna talk about? The Rocky Port incident. Rocky Port incident. Rocky Port incident. Now, before I go into what the Rocky Port incident was, I'm just gonna go based off of like what the chapters in the manga. It was like literally the first time we ever even heard about the Rocky Port incident was like Law was the mastermind behind it. That was in chapter 700, and then going on forward, it was when Kobe saved King Cobra and the crew from these delinquents. It talked about how he was the hero, and then finally when we see Blackbeard speaking on the Rocky Port incident, it's like Blackbeard, I think it was chapter 1054, when he was grabbing Boa by the neck, he even said it himself. You helped me at the Rocky Point incident, isn't that right, Kobe the hero? You know what I mean? If it weren't for you, I wasn't gonna be able to topple Wang Ji. I wasn't gonna be able to become the new boss of the island. You know what I mean? And it's like, if it weren't for you. And I feel as if like it's just propaganda. I don't think it was Kobe and Blackbeard versus Wang Ji, like on some like Wang Ji's rocks is like the rocks, and then you got Garp and Roger versus rocks. Even in that moment, I don't even think that happened, honestly speaking. You know what I mean? When I think about Kobe helping Blackbeard, I think of it as like, yeah, there's reinforcements like to help out deal with all the criminals, that are already on Pirate Island. Like, it's like a whole island versus the Blackbeard pirates. They're not gonna win. But if you got Kobe, along with the entirety of the Marines, and then you got Law with the op fruit already knowing how to do his thing, it's like, yeah, that makes sense. Blackbeard, Law, and Kobe together versus Wang Ji and the entirety of the Pirate Island, that literally makes sense. But here's another case of like Blackbeard being just like his father, inheriting his will, getting Hachinosu. The reason why Rox wanted Hachinosu for himself is so he can gain the island, everything that's already on the island for himself, because there's gold hidden under that island. The criminals on that island is strong himself. Literally, Rox was like, you know what? I'm gonna make a deal with the government. Hey, if you pay us, hey, we can get that island for you. But Rox is like, psych, I'm not gonna give you that island. Guess what? It happened though. They paid him in full, and then he got the island for himself. Got the whole Pirate Island for himself in order to rule the world and whatnot. Guess what Blackbeard did? Blackbeard went to Hachinosu to gain it for himself so he can be the king of the world, just like how his father had Pirate Island. He wants Pirate Island too. Even in the SBS, right? It talked about how Law wanted, he went into depth with it in the SBS instead of just saying it in the story himself. Oda was like, oh, I guess, to be honest, I don't think I'll ever mention this again in the story. Not that it's important. Of course it's going to be important because we're going to have to see what happened. We're going to have to see what happened. Even if he doesn't like it or not, he has to show us. This is like very important information. Law wanted to smuggle a ship with people. Instead, he smuggled like this vessel, and then like Kobe had to come in for his own reasons. Blackbeard came in for his own reasons. But all three of them had their entire plan. But the biggest villain was Wang Ji. Law did this so he could become a warlord. Kobe did it because Law smuggled a ship. Law thought it was a ship with like the king and the nobles and all that stuff, but instead he just smuggled a ship that belonged to Pirate Island that had the flags of that set nation. And then Blackbeard only came to Hachinosu solely for the fact that he wanted the island that his father once conquered. It all aligns, it all makes sense. Like, it's just there. It's like literally there. You know what I mean? Like, everything Blackbeard's doing right now makes so much sense. Like, everything his father accomplished, the same way Blackbeard himself accomplished. And even Blackbeard, the whole reason why Blackbeard kidnapped Kobe, because he wanted the island to be named a country of its own. And he wanted to have that island be a part of the world government. So like, just think about everything Blackbeard has done. I know I'm repeating myself, but just think about all the things that Blackbeard himself has done, how it aligns with the things that his father's done. Doesn't it make sense? Here's the theory now. Let's get into the theory. Blackbeard, the son of Rox, inheriting his will. This theory might sound crazy, but hear me out. Now, going back to what I previously stated in the beginning of this video, when we saw Blackbeard, when he was talking about a man's dream never dies. When he's talking about a man's dream, he's talking about his father's dream, because he's carrying his father's will. Both Luffy and Zoro said it's two of them that were speaking. They. Who is they? This is my theory. There was a certain someone in the Rock's pirates that could have possibly helped Rocks carry out his will entirely? Charlotte Linlin, Big Mom. What if during the God Valley incident, what if you reap what you sow? Remember the time Rocks killed an admiral severely? He injured him so severe to the point that they couldn't like help him, and he died from those wounds. What if Rocks had like this huge wound? Like he had this huge wound from fighting on God Valley, fighting Roger and Garp and whatnot. He get this huge wound. There was nothing to save him. No stitches, no healing, no nothing. Nothing to heal him at all. So, and he only had like probably a year to live. This is just a theory. Just hear me out. And Rocks had a baby. He's like, I need my plan to go on. My dreams shall not die. I still will become king of the world. What if Rocks randomly hooked up, had a kid, which is Blackbeard? What if he told Big Mom had the soul fruit? What if he told Big Mom, hey, imbued my soul into this child, my will live on? Think about it. What if Rocks had made Big Mom store his soul inside of Blackbeard's body when he was a child? Imagine imagine his conscience inside of Blackbeard lives, but he himself can't possess Blackbeard, but his soul lives in Blackbeard, and he has Rocks' mindset, his consciousness, able to speak to him or whatnot, but he's dead, his body's dead, but his soul is alive, and consciously he's in Blackbeard's head. Big Mom could have been like, what? That's crazy. You don't even know, that might kill this child. He's like, you never know. Do it. I'm still your captain. I'm not dead yet. And he does it. What if some random child, what if some random family, imagine Rocks die, the crew just abandons the kid, that kid's gonna die, leave him. Because remember, they're not really loyal to Rocks, right? So could you imagine some random lady a random family adopts Marshall D. Teach. He probably grew up in this broke home, this broke town and stuff like that. And it's like, okay, cool. You know what? And then he finally meets Whitebeard. He's like, Whitebeard, please get me in your crew. Can I have you? Can I be in your crew, please? Can I seriously be on your crew? And it's this entire time he knows. Maybe that's how Whitebeard always knew. So it's imagine he got in this crew, and that's how everything I just said in the beginning of video end up being what it is. Kill Thatched. Always was looking for the Yami Yami no Mi. Always wanted to join, always wanted to be on Whitebeard's crew, solely the fact that I know he's the reason why I can find the Yami Yami no Mi. Being a warlord, getting people from Impel down, the Rocky Port incident, how he became a Yonko, and it could be the reason why he's able to have 2 devil fruits. The only guy in the One Piece world that was able to have 2 devil fruits, because he has 2 souls within him. Usually when you eat 2 devil fruits, you're gonna die, but Blackbeard, he didn't die. Think about it. You know, that might sound crazy, but it's like maybe another root situation. You remember, the only reason why Aces like literally was born was solely of the fact that Roger was like, you know what, I'll just make a son. Why not just have a son? I'll have a son. Think about it. I'll have a son. My son will find the One Piece. Rox's idea was like, you know what? I'll have a my will live on. I will have a child, and my child will carry on my will to become the king of the world. I won't die because my will live in that child. And that's why Blackbeard's motto is a man's dream never dies. Did I cook? Like, for real. I mean, is it crazy to say? I don't think that's crazy. I honestly don't believe that's crazy. You know? Think about it. Guys, like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you think. Please, it'll boost the algorithm. You know what I mean? I miss doing this too, and I have other videos to come. Think about what I'm saying, guys. It's your boy Used to Say, and I'm out, man.